revamp has been expected pretty much since the big one in Cataclysm. Half of the world of Azeroth is just stuck in time, with Silver Moon being stuck in 2007, the Gnomes still retaking Omrigan, and half of the continents being in just this weird state of status quo. Well, Dragonflight essentially confirmed that a timeskip will be happening, and in my opinion, if they plan to do it right, they also need to revamp the older zones all across the planet. Blizzard did say a massive revamp won't be happening in the new expansion, but we have actually data mined a bunch of brand new Alliance and Horde models of buildings in the Dragonflight Alpha that are not seen anywhere on the Dragon Isle. So let us take a look at these models. What are they, and does this mean that major faction cities and important and relevant zones will finally get the updates that they deserve? If you are looking for a game on your phone that doesn't just turn off your brain but that is engaging, well, the sponsor of this video, Friends and Dragons, is for you. This is a chess-like RPG game for hardcore strategy players where hero placement is the name of the game. As you can see, the controls are unique as you need to move your party around the field with time restrictions, and all heroes have different attributes, and it is all about organization and quick thinking. With good strategy, you can progress the campaigns, get rewards, and there are even 30 chapters so far. You can collect and upgrade your heroes, and best of all, there are guilds, and you can even join mine called Lordaeron. The game has amazing music that does a great job of drawing you into the game world. Additionally, Friends and Dragons has special limited events like Chase the Dragon one, and also a great Discord server with a close-knit community. So make sure to download Friends and Dragons with my link or scan the QR code on the screen and get new player bonus of 1 free summon, 4 days of energy potions, daily free summons, as well as new seasonal summons when you keep playing. See you in game. So let's be real, World of Warcraft has been begging for a revamp for the longest time. In game's history, Blizzard once did a major revamp with Cataclysm, and afterwards they were like, yeah, that was a bit more work than we had originally expected. So since then, which was over 12 years ago, they kinda forgot that the world should be a lot different than what it was even in Cataclysm. To not be unfair, of course, there were some changes in the relevant zones, but this really was localized, and the reality is that most of Azeroth is stuck in this really weird time loop. We have some zones that look super bad when compared to the new content, like the Elven Forest or Silver Moon, that was literally never rebuilt or fully completed despite being introduced like 15 years ago. Then we have zones that are literally stuck in time, such as Omrigan, that is seemingly being cleansed since the Cataclysm. By this point in time, they literally could have built like 2 new Omrigans and fixed the old one. Now, Gilneas has also been in this state, and we still have no idea what even is going on down there. Then there are the zones that were recently quite relevant, such as Tirisful Glades, destroyed by the war. We know Undercity was cleansed in 9.2.5, so most of them are begging for a revamp and a big update, not just to the lore, but a visual and a significant visual update. Now, I don't want to give you guys too much hope, but there are good and bad news. To start with the bad news, in an interview, Blizzard did confirm that there won't be any major revamps to Azeroth, and the expansion will be focused almost exclusively on the Dragon Isles. However, there are 2 things we could add here to this statement. Blizzard also said that there won't be a time skip after Shadowlands, and they literally just added it in the alpha. And second, maybe there won't be a major revamp, but there might still be a localized one or a limited revamp, which would also be quite cool, and for some people, this could be major. Now, the good news is that I'm not making this video just to clickbait you guys and to give you my opinion piece and to complain about Azeroth being stuck at time. There are actually a bunch of datamine models from the Dragonflight Alpha that might hint that there will, in fact, be some updates to the rest of Azeroth, even though it might not be a revamp on the scale of Cataclysm, just something massive changing the entire world. So, the info itself comes from some world map objects that are obviously Alliance and Horde updated models, but they are not at the moment tied to any maps and haven't been seen anywhere on the Dragon Isles, and it is unclear what they will be used for exactly. These include a new inn-type Wyvern and Gryphon buildings, all types of walls, turrets, and mainly orc and human-themed constructions. Now, some of these models seem to be modular, meaning that they are a part of a larger group and seemingly a really large structure, and some don't even seem fully finished, so there is obviously a lot of work in progress. Now, some of these seem like outposts, like buildings, more wooden in structure, and that's really something you would see in Orgrimmar, but maybe a horde outpost on the Dragon Isles or somewhere far away from the capital. Obviously, with the lookout towers and the flying griffin and wyvern bases, this would perfectly fit some kind of an advanced outpost. We will no doubt be making some structures there, although I doubt we will be building any large ones or like huge cities on the Dragon Isles, as after all, we're not going there to conquer the lands but to help out the dragons, and they already have their own cities and civilizations set up there, and they're our allies, we're helping them. What is interesting though is that some of these models are still nowhere to be found in the Dragonflight Alpha, even though they have been discovered in the database. Realistically, this is definitely not the first time Blizzard decided to create high resolution assets. In fact, we have seen this happening a lot since and during Worlds of Draenor, with Ashan looking unlike any other Horde Alliance base before, and then pretty much everything else they have added from the garrisons that obviously had the higher quality updated models. This was most evident recently with Stromgarde and how they rebuilt the entire city in BFA, as before it was stuck in Cataclysm up to that point and was just incredibly outdated. Just imagine if the same thing could be done to a lot of the older zones, the other zones on Azeroth. I am aware that these models are not exactly World Revamp confirmed, guys, but there is actually more information that we have discovered thus far. Other than the human and the orcish structures, we have also data mined a bunch of various blood elven objects, from a brand new super cool looking elven ship with a horde flag to a bunch of new various blood elven themed objects, from tents to books to all the various bits and pieces you would generally find inside buildings. Now, obviously, these are not the massive Silver Moon structures, as we would then have to data mine huge towers, but maybe they might start using these assets as well to update at least some parts of Silver Moon, as this could definitely enhance what we currently have, even if the overall look is still the same. As I previously said, I'm almost certain that there won't be a massive world revamp that we've had back in Cataclysm, where an entirely new Orgrimmar will be built, or Stormwind completely updated, or you will get entirely new zones, but there might be world revamps in terms of localized changes, and currently we have a bunch of zones that are actually relevant and that might see these upcoming changes with the release of Dragonflight. So, first is the entire area of northern Lordaeron, aka Terrestrial Gates, and everything else surrounding Other City up to Gilneas. As you have probably already heard, Kalia Manatil became one of the Forsaken leaders in 9.2.5, and she confirmed that she plans to return Gilneas back to the Alliance. The thing is though, since then, we have data mined an actual confirmation of a time skip through various dialogues in the Dragonflight Alpha. So, we've had a conversation between Talesra and Lordaeron that are married now, as well as Matthias Shaw, that talked about how several years have passed since we have returned from the Shadowlands, and as far as we know, 9.2.5, when Undercity was retaken and cleansed, happened just as we returned from the Shadowlands. So, Kalia has been one of their rulers for a long time. Undercity must have been rebuilt at this point, and there should be a lot more progress for Gilneas and the Alliance. To top this all off, there should be a lot of changes to areas around Stromgarde, where the war was in BFA, because at this point, a minimum of 5 years must have passed since the major battle, and we should notice some quite serious and obvious, and most importantly, visual changes. Other than this, I honestly doubt they will do like a full revamp of Silver Moon, as that would just be a ton of work and it doesn't seem really relevant in any way right now, other than Lordaeron being relevant. But as I previously mentioned, this could be some sort of half revamp. The thing is though, this entire half revamp could definitely be implemented easily by Blizzard, as they might be able to just replace some buildings with new high-res ones. Back in Cataclysm, the world was hit by the shattering, everything broke, and Deathwing was there, and the zones were literally completely reshaped. I mean, Barrens, for example, was drastically different. Strangleton Whale got a massive vortex, and really, this was not just a bunch of new models, but zones had to be completely thought through again and redesigned in just an entirely different way. Plus, there was the entire thing where they had to optimize the all available zones for flying, which was a lot more work than they could originally expected, so this new thing could be completely different. In the case of Dragonflight, some of the zones would have to be updated, but there wouldn't have to be a huge redesigning effort that requires just a ton of new concepts, design, and all this stuff being created. We have already datamined months ago, back before the alpha even started, that Blizzard is making some minor changes to both Stormwind and Orgrimmar as they moved some buildings around, started building some sort of stables with brand new models, so maybe this is just one more piece of the revamp puzzle. Another motivation they might have for some sort of a smaller scale world revamp is in regards to dragon riding and how this is going to be a big thing in Dragonflight. They didn't really exclude the idea of making dragon riding possible after the expansion all over Azeroth, and for this they might need to modify some of the really old zones just all over the planet, especially the mountainous regions for the gameplay purposes. So this change could entirely be gradual. We still don't know what the pre-patch will be about, but maybe in the pre-patch they could update Undercity or the surrounding area. Then if Gilneas is somehow relevant in a patch, this could be added as well, and if you get my idea, this could be like a zone here, a zone there that could be thrown in, so Azeroth finally starts making some sense visually and is actually updated with the lore. Blizzard really is already kind of 1 foot into a revamp as it is, because they did decide to implement a time skip, and really now they're kind of under at least a bit of an obligation to make some visual changes to the game world, as several years passing will mean a lot of things have changed on Azeroth. I really just hope that these models and the other indications are a part of a world revamp that is to come. Thank you for watching. Check out how time travel would be crazy in Dragonflight by clicking on the screen, and check out Doran's Academy for videos on real world history. See you next time.